Hello everyone, I welcome you all to my channel Revealing Concepts. In today's class, we would be learning about what is temperature inversion, how it takes place, what are the conditions that are required for temperature inversion, and what impact will temperature inversion have overall. Okay, so if you try to understand the formal definition of temperature inversion, it states that it is nothing but reversal of normal lapse rate. Now, if you all try to recollect and remember what is normal lapse rate. Normal lapse rate means as you try to move altitude wise, or you can say ki as your height increases, the temperature is going to decrease. This is the normal lapse rate. And if you remember, for every 1 kilometer the temperature decreases by 6.5 degrees Celsius. This is what normally happens. That is when you try to climb up a mountain, as you climb it up, as you go up and up, the temperature is going to go down. That is, you're going to feel colder and colder as you move up and up. That is what normal lapse rate is, and that is what normally happens. But sometimes what happens is, instead of this, there is an inversion in this phenomena which is called as the temperature inversion, wherein there is reversal of normal lapse rate. Simply what is going to happen is, as your height will increase, instead of temperature going to fall, now it is going to increase only, which is little absurd, but these conditions happen. Now, when do these conditions happen? When is temperature inversion, this particular phenomena, going to take place? So let us understand the conditions that are required for temperature inversion, and that is why here it is clearly written conditions for temperature inversion. Now, I have certain points that are written over here, and let me just tell you ki, the conditions for temperature inversion ke under we have factors like wind, we have cloud, we have something called as convection, which we already know what it is, we have winter. Now, when I say wind, okay, here I will put a cross which indicates that there shouldn't be any wind flowing if you want temperature inversion ka phenomena to take place. Why that is so? See, when there is no wind, when there is no clouds, and when there is no conversion, that would lead to no atmospheric mixing. अगर atmospheric mixing होगा ही नहीं, तो basically जो जो air जिधर है, that air mass, wherever it is going to stay there and there itself. For example, when I say ki there is no wind, there is no clouds, meaning the conditions are very clear. There are no clouds, it means ki the conditions are clear. There are no winds, it means ki the conditions are calm. Whenever the wind is moving, the conditions are not calm. So here we need clear and calm conditions, meaning there shouldn't be any clouds, there shouldn't be flow of winds that is taking place. And when I say no convection, we all know that when ground gets heated up, right, if let's say ki this is the ground, and when it gets heated up, the air which is just above it also gets heated up and it travels up. This is nothing but convection, right? When the warmer air travels up, it is nothing but the convection. तो ये भी नहीं होना चाहिए. जो air mass जिधर है उधर ही रहना चाहिए. Now when there is no wind, when there is no clouds, that is when there are calm and clear conditions with no convection, this leads to नो एटमॉस्फेरिक मिक्सिंग. अभी यहाँ पे एटमॉस्फेरिक मिक्सिंग हो ही नहीं रहा, एटमॉस्फेयर मिक्स हो ही नहीं रहा. एंड एट द सेम टाइम देयर इज वन मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग कि there should be winter-like conditions. What do you mean by winter-like conditions? Winter-like conditions matlab, between day and night, okay, or between light and darkness, most of the time, or for a majority amount of time, there should be darkness that should exist. अब ऐसा क्यों है कि you need to have longer nights. Longer nights are possible during winter season, and that is why I have written the word winter. But generally उसको चाहिए क्या? Longer nights. Winter over here corresponds to the word longer nights. So longer nights क्यों? So as we all know कि land gets heated up faster, it gets cooled down also faster. So if the nights are longer, it means that sun is not going to shine for a longer period of time. मतलब ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा time darkness ही रहेगा. अगर ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा time darkness ही रहेगा, it means that the land is going to not get heated up. और अगर land heat ही नहीं हुआ, तो यहाँ पे जो एयर मास बनेगा दैट वुड बी अ कोल्डर एयर मास, द एयर मास दैट इज जस्ट अबाउ द लैंड, जस्ट अबाउ द अर्थ सरफेस, और उसके ऊपर जो बनेगा दैट माइट बी अ लिटिल वार्मर. सो एज यू गो अप, इफ यू सी, जैसे आपकी हाइट बढ़ रही है वैसा अभी इधर भी टेम्परेचर क्या हो रहा है, अभी टेम्परेचर बढ़ रहा है. अभी ये मेंटेन कब रहेगा, जब विंड्स नहीं होंगे. अगर विंड्स नहीं होंगे, अगर क्लाउड्स नहीं होगा, अगर कन्वेक्शन नहीं होगा तो एटमॉस्फेरिक मिक्सिंग नहीं होगा, और अगर एटमॉस्फेरिक मिक्सिंग नहीं होगा तो ये ऐसा ऊपर नीचे मूव नहीं करेगा. इट मीन्स दैट द कोल्डर एयर मास इज गोइंग टू स्टे ओवर हियर एंड द वार्मर एयर मास इज गोइंग टू स्टे ओवर हियर. देयर इज नो atmospheric mixing, and hence as you move high or as the height increases, the temperature is also going to increase. And this is nothing but the phenomena of temperature inversion. So to sum it up, what is temperature inversion? In simple terms, it is reversal of the normal lapse rate, where as your height increases, your temperature also increases. And what are the conditions that are required for temperature inversion? There shouldn't be winds, there shouldn't be clouds, convection should not take place. All of these three leads to no atmospheric mixing, and at the same time you need to have longer nights, which we get during the season of winter. This is what the conditions for temperature inversion is. Now let's move on to see what are the impacts of temperature inversion. Now there are certain positive impacts and certain negative impacts for the phenomena of temperature inversion. जैसे positive impact क्या है कि frost protection मिलता है for plants. What happens is, due to the temperature inversion, the formation of frost, or we could say कि जो frost बनता है, and normally humans would have frost bites, so even plants have to undergo the same phenomena, which is not good. So that is why I can say that ये जो temperature inversion का phenomena है, ये plants को frost से protect करता है, because height पे जो है वो temperature warm है, तो यहाँ पे जो frost बनने की possibility है, it basically nullifies that possibility, because here the temperature is warmer now. Okay, and that is how it is a positive side of the temperature inversion, जहां पे वो plants को protect करता है from the frost. Okay, now next, what are the negative impacts? Now the first negative impact is the pollution dome effect. Now what is this pollution dome effect? ये basically क्या है कि I'll first explain what is it, and then let's move, then we will understand its solution. First of all, we all need to understand कि ये negative phenomena है, मतलब ये अच्छा नहीं है. What exactly happens is, as I told you, that whenever there is temperature inversion, if this is our ground, if this is our surface, since the surface is cooler, that is why the temperature, the air mass which is just above the ground surface is cold. So there is a cold air mass over here, और उसके ऊपर जो है वो वार्म एयर मास है. नाउ व्हेन आई से वार्म एयर मास, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि यहाँ पे टेम्परेचर 10 डिग्री और यहाँ पे लिटरली 80 डिग्री सेल्सियस है. दैट्स नॉट द केस. इट्स लाइक comparatively, if you see, the air mass which exists over here is warmer than that of the air mass that exists over here, जिसकी वजह से अभी convection नहीं होता, mixing नहीं होता. Okay, so now what happens is, ये जो cold air mass है जो just above the ground exist कर रहा है, उसके अंदर the pollutants get trapped. Now why do they get trapped? They get trapped because यहाँ पे convection हो रहा है नहीं. Is there atmospheric mixing that is going to take place? नहीं. अगर atmospheric mixing होता, which we normally denoted like this, this is convection that is going to take place. The air is going to rise and then it is going to again descend also, right? That is nothing but convection, and that leads to atmospheric mixing. लेकिन अगर atmospheric mixing यहाँ पे होता तो ये जो यहाँ पे trapped pollutants है वो ऊपर भी जाते and they could get scattered. But right now atmospheric mixing हो ही नहीं रहा है, जिसकी वजह से सारे के सारे pollutants they are trapped over here because of temperature inversion. This is a phenomenon of temperature inversion, जहां पे cold air mass नीचे है, warm air mass ऊपर है. आप अगर ऊपर जाते हो the temperature is going to increase, and because of this phenomena all the pollutants are trapped inside this cold air mass. There is no atmospheric mixing. Day by day the concentration of these pollutants gets on increasing, and we all know कि this is not a good phenomena. Okay, so since there is no convection, there is formation of gas chamber. Okay, and this leads to increase in pollutants. यहाँ पे एक गैस चेम्बर क्रिएट होता है और इस चेम्बर में बेसिकली सारे के सारे पोल्यूटेंट्स ट्रैप्ड रहते हैं. नाउ pollutants will of course lead to pollution, and hence we can say this is a pollution dome effect. Pollution because of the trapped pollutants. Dome क्योंकि ऊपर warm air है, इसकी वजह से ये एक डोम की तरह एक्ट करता है. It doesn't let the trapped pollutants to move upwards, and hence you get to see the pollution dome effect. Okay, now of course, as the name suggests, pollution dome effect is just above the earth's surface the pollutants are going to get trapped, and that is not good for us, right? So what is the solution? First is you need to reduce the pollution. If you reduce the pollution, the level or the concentration of pollutants in the atmosphere is going to decrease. And second is you can even there can be artificial clouds that you can create. So create clouds, this is not T, this is plus. Create clouds, and that would lead to artificial rain. So if you try to remember, in Delhi, whenever there is rise in pollution, what government does is government creates artificial rainfall. Why that is so? Whenever there is artificial rainfall, what happens is these pollutants, these particles which are there, they become heavy due to the water, they absorb certain water, and then what happens is they move down and they settle down, जिसकी वजह से अभी यहाँ का जो air mass होता है वो clear हो जाता है. So if at all there are pollutants in, first of all you need to reduce the number of pollutants in the atmosphere. अगर वो नहीं कर सकते, so then the list that you can do is you can create artificial clouds, and that can lead to artificial rainfall. So this is what pollution dome effect is. To sum it up again, in short, pollution dome effect is the negative impact of temperature inversion. जहाँ पे basically क्या होता है कि surface से थोड़ा ऊपर एक cold air mass होता है because of temperature inversion, and उसके ऊपर अपन के पास एक warm air mass होता है. Now what happens is the pollutants that are there in the atmosphere, they get trapped in this cold air mass, and they are not able to move upwards because there is no atmospheric mixing. As a result of which the concentration of pollutants starts increasing in this particular area, which leads to formation of a gas chamber, which leads to increasing pollutants, which is not a good thing. Now the next negative impact is the increase in pests and fungal diseases. ये particular जो phenomena है जहाँ पे you have a colder air mass near the surface of the earth, and then you have the warmer air mass just above it, leading to temperature inversion. These are the ideal conditions for fungal diseases, for fungus to grow and for pests to grow. Why? Because there is no atmospheric mixing. They get a very stable environment to grow, and that is why it's a very, very suitable atmospheric phenomena for these particular organisms to grow. Similarly, visibility bhi reduce ho jati hai. Why visibility is reduced? Of course, if there are pollutants, if the particulate matter is going to increase and there is no atmospheric mixing, only the level of particulate matter, level of pollutants is going to increase and increase and increase, that would affect your visibility. यहाँ पे if you try to remember, particulate matter जो होता है इसके around condensation भी होता है, तो उसकी वजह से fog is something that you get to experience and which is not a good thing. Like we cannot say fog, we can say smog जो होता है वो basically, and if smog is something which is a phenomena that can be experienced under temperature inversion. If you try to remember, Delhi is a place where smog constantly occurs. The smog-like conditions, they constantly occur and they hamper your visibility. So the negative impacts of temperature inversion are pollution dome impact or pollution dome effect. Then that it also leads to you could say good living conditions for pests and fungal diseases, and it reduces visibility because there is increase in the concentration of pollutants into the atmosphere. So in today's class we have learned about what exactly is temperature inversion, uske conditions kya hai, and then we saw its impact, certain positive impacts, its negative impacts, which are really very harmful to us. So I hope you all have understood what has been taught in today's video. If you have any doubt, please put your doubt into the comment section and reach out to me. I will surely reply back to you. Thank you so much and see you soon in the next video.